jam is on. We have SlamDiego, jammer number 182, Blink 182, picking up lead jammer status, jamming up against number 91, Sabine Wraith against Pacific. SlamDiego looking to put some points up on the board. Successful scoring pass before calling it off. Jamming for SlamDiego, we have number 11, Betta RecogKnives, going up against number 007, Karmen SlamDiego from Pacific. And it looks like the Pacific jammer will pick up a high block penalty, meaning that this is a power jam for RecogKnives. One more blocker, RecogKnives trying to get through, hoping to get that lead jammer, and they do with that last blocker pass. RecogKnives picks up that lead jammer status, looking to take full advantage of this power jam. And a dip around that outside lane, RecogKnives successful scoring pass. Knives looking to get through, but getting recycled by those Pacific blockers, just as Blockopotamus picks up a penalty. And the Pacific jammer, number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, just completed their initial as the jam is called by Betta RecogKnives. Knives putting 7 points up on the board for SlamDiego, bringing the score to 11, holding Pacific Roller Derby at 0. And jamming for Pacific, we have number 916, Major D, going up against 0122, Ricochet. But it's going to be Major D from Pacific picking up that lead jammer status. Just as Ricochet was recycled. Successful scoring pass by Pacific Roller Derby, Major D. And it looks like 2 Pacific blockers will pick up some penalties before the jam is called. Pacific Roller Derby putting 6 points up on the board for that jam, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 6, Peninsula Roller Derby at 11. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 68, Venus Thigh Trap, going up against number 135, Sailor Doom. Sailor Doom at the front of the pack, really trying to get through those last 2 Pacific blockers. But it is going to be Venus Thigh Trap from Pacific Roller Derby getting that lead jammer, with Sailor Doom hot on their heels, sneaking up that inside line, picking up all 4 points before calling it off, before Peninsula is able to put any points up on the board. 4-point jam for Pacific Roller Derby, bringing the score to 10, 11. It is very early and anyone's game. Jamming for Penninsula, we have number 182, BlinkSkady2, picking up that lead jammer. Jamming against number 916, Major D for Pacific Roller Derby. BlinkSkady2 trying to put some points up on the board as the pack is moving. And Major D successfully applying that pressure, forcing a call off before BlinkSkady2 is able to put any points up on the board. Holding the score at Peninsula Roller Derby 11, Pacific Roller Derby 10. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against number 11, Betta RecogKnives for Peninsula Roller Derby. And the lead is still open. Either jammer is able to get lead, and it looks like Peninsula and Pacific blockers will pick up penalties. Just as Knives picks up lead jammer for Peninsula, it is even. Both teams are down a blocker. And let's see what they do with it. Pacific is still on initial. Knives is on a scoring. Blockopotamus trying to keep Karmen SlamDiego down, but Karmen SlamDiego manages to get out. Betta RecogKnives scoring 2 points that jam, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 13 to Pacific Roller Derby's 10. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have Venus Thigh Trap going up against number 0122, Ricochet. But Ricochet will pick up lead jammer for Peninsula. Venus Thigh Trap still on their initial. Just as the pivot from Peninsula picks up a directional penalty there. A big hit out, but that white 0-0 blocker will pick up a high block penalty. Successful scoring pass by Ricochet. Ricochet trying to dance around that outside line. And the jam is called off, and it looks like Peninsula will have a power start this jam. 8-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby, and a timeout is called by Pacific Roller Derby. We are sitting at Peninsula Roller Derby with 21 points against the Pacific Roller Derby, sitting at 10. We are currently on a team timeout, which means that this timeout will last 1 minute. Okay, and that concludes the team timeout. Peninsula Roller Derby with a power start and pack advantage. Number 135, Sailor Doom. Number 135, Sailor Doom, making quick work of that lead jammer status, taking full advantage of this power jam with pack advantage. Sailor Doom, another successful scoring pass going around that inside lane. Sailor Doom going around that outside lane, dancing along the one on their toe stops to get a successful scoring pass as Venus Thigh Trap, or I'm sorry, that's not Venus Thigh Trap, that is No Fox Given, as No Fox Given rejoins the pack. But the jam is called off. 15-point jam there by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby at 36, Pacific Roller Derby at 10. Jamming for Peninsula, we have Blink 182 going up against number 916, Major D. And Peninsula Roller Derby will pick up both lead jammer, and there is a power jam with Pacific's jammer catching a penalty. Blink 182 gliding along that inside line for a successful scoring pass, trying to take full advantage of this power jam. Some really great blocking by both teams out there. That pivot number 50, Strawberry Shortskate, putting up a great fight, but Blink 182 coming through with a successful scoring pass. Blink 182 getting a little bit of offensive help from their friends. Successful scoring pass. And Blink 182 getting a little bit recycled. Major D also getting recycled. I do believe that Major D is still on their initial with Blink 182 on a scoring pass. Successful scoring pass by Blink 182. Just as their pivot picks up a penalty. Major D completing their initial, but Peninsula calls it off before they're able to score any points. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against number 11, Betta RecogKnives. And it's going to be number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, picking up lead jammer for Pacific Roller Derby. Those Pacific Walls really doing a good job of successful scoring pass by Karmen SlamDiego, as we had some great action there on the track. Karmen SlamDiego getting a little bit of help from their friends before calling off the jam. 8-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby for that jam, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 18 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 54. And Peninsula Roller Derby calls a timeout. Yeah, we love a ref dance. Yeah, ref dance. Shout out to all of our refs. Shout out to all of our volunteers. Wouldn't be here without y'all. And that concludes our team timeout. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 9-1, Sabine Wraith, going up against number 0-1-2-2, Ricochet. For Peninsula, and Ricochet will pick up lead jammer. Both teams doing a really great job at holding back those jammers. A successful scoring pass by Ricochet before calling it all. Four-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 58 to Pacific Roller Derby's 18. And jamming for Pacific, we have number 6-8, Venus Skytrap, going up against number 135, Sailor Doom. Sailor Doom trying to take that outside line, but number 50 hit them out of bounds, and it's going to be Venus Skytrap getting the lead jammer for Pacific Roller Derby. Venus Skytrap picking up some more points before calling off the jam. 2 points that jam, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 20 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 58. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have, I believe that's number 007, Sailor Doom, going up against number 182, Blink 182 for Peninsula. And Blink 182 picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby. Woo! Beautiful apex jump by Blink 182. Successful scoring pass. And that was a successful star pass by Pacific Roller Derby, with Blink 182 trying to put some more points up on the board. And Blink 182 does manage to call it off before Pacific Roller Derby is able to score any points. That was an 8-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 66 to Pacific Roller Derby's 20. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 1-1, Betta RecogKnives, going up against number 9-1, Sabine Wraith. Both jammers still fighting to get lead as Pacific picks up a multiplayer penalty. And it's going to be Betta RecogKnives picking up that lead jammer status with number 200. 020, who was that? Critical Brit? No, 200, hitting them out. Chem Fatale, that was a great hit out by Chem Fatale. Jammers are now on a scoring pass with Peninsula Roller Derby. Still the lead jammer. And Peninsula Roller Derby calls off the jam. And we have an official timeout. Short intermission, folks. We will be right back. And that concludes our official timeout. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 6'8" Venus Thigh Trap going up against number 0122 Ricochet. Ricochet picking up lead jam just as number 80 picks up a penalty. Ricochet on a scoring pass, successful scoring pass by Ricochet. Peninsula Roller Derby really giving Venus Thigh Trap a tough time, but that was a successful star pass. Successful star pass to number 00, Heidi Doom. Heidi Doom races around the track looking to pick up some points, making it look easy getting through those blockers as both jammers have a successful scoring pass, putting some points up on the board. And Ricochet is going to put 4 more points up on the board before calling it off. 12-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby. That jam, 4-point jam for Pacific, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 82 to Pacific Roller Derby's 28. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 9-1, Sabine Wraith, going up against number 135, Sailor Doom for Peninsula. Sailor Doom picking up lead jammer for Peninsula here. Just as Sabine completes their initial, But Sailor's going to call it off before Sabine is able to score any points. 4-point jam for Penninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 86-28. And jamming for Pacific, picking up lead jammer is number 187, Sugar in Cyanide. Going up against number 182, Blink 1 Skatey 2. 2-point jam for Pacific Roller Derby, put some points up on the board before calling it off. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against 0122, Ricochet. And it's going to be Ricochet for Penninsula Roller Derby picking up lead jammer. But Karmen SlamDiego is right on their heels, trying to force the call off. Both jammers able to score 1 point that jam before it gets called off. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones, going up against number 5-0, Strawberry Shortskate for Pacific, and it's going to be Strawberry Shortskate picking up lead jammer for Peninsula. Or, I'm sorry, for Pacific, excuse me. Ooh, a little apex hop there, a little apex action there. Strawberry Shortskate looking to put some more points up on the board. With a successful scoring pass, 4 points for Pacific Roller Derby, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 35 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 87. With 6 minutes left in the first half. It is still anyone's game. And jamming for Peninsula, we have number 135, Sailor Doom, going up against number 6-8, Venus Thigh Trap. Both jammers really using brute force to push those walls up, and those are some tough walls, but it's going to be number 135, Sailor Doom, getting lead jammer for Peninsula. And this will now be a power jam for Peninsula as Venus Thigh Trap picks up a track cut penalty. Peninsula looking to take full advantage of this power jam. Sailor Doom pushing that last Pacific blocker. No box given. Really making them work for that successful scoring pass. Okay, and it looks like a high block penalty is going to be assessed to number 135, Sailor Doom, meaning that this will be a power start for Pacific Roller Derby. And that's going to be number 91, Sabine Wraith, jamming for Pacific, trying to get that lead jammer going up against those Peninsula walls, dancing around that outside, but Blockopotamus knocking them out of bounds on that inside lane. Sabine looking to take that inside lane, but looks like there's some excellent blocking from, I believe that was Eddy there. And Sabine will pick up a track cut, meaning that this will be a full 2-minute jam. No? Oh, no, because it was a power start. Excuse me. Number 135, Sailor Doom is your lead jammer. And a Pacific blocker will pick up a penalty just as Sailor Doom completes a successful scoring pass, putting some more points up on the board for Peninsula, just as Sabine rejoins the track and hitting the pack, still on their initial, and the jam is called off. Seven-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby there, breaking the century mark, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby at 101, holding Pacific Roller Derby at 35. And jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, going up against number 007, Karmen SlamDiego. Successful scoring pass by Blink 182. And we might see some jammer on jammer action here as we have Blink 182 passing, but oh, what a great hit out by number 50, Strawberry Shortskate. Four-point jam for Peninsula, bringing the score to 105-35. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 68, Venus Thigh Trap, going up against number 0122, Ricochet. And Venus Thigh Trap picking up a penalty, giving Ricochet a power jam just as they pick up that lead jammer. Ricochet looking to put some more points on the board here for Peninsula, just as a Pacific blocker picks up a track cut penalty, I do believe that was. That was a successful scoring pass by Ricochet. Ricochet dancing along that inside line, making it look easy for another successful scoring pass. Just as Venus Thigh Trap rejoins the pack, still on their initial, looking to get through. Successful scoring pass by Ricochet, just as Venus Thigh Trap breaks it out on their initial. Venus Thigh Trap looking to put some points up on the board before the jam is called, unless point jam there by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 117-2. So we are on an official review. Pacific Roller Derby has requested an official review.
With Stevie and see if Stevie wants a break, in which case we'll put you on the camera. But yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Derby. And that concludes our intermission. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, but it's going to be number 91, Sabine Wraith, picking up lead jammer for Pacific Roller Derby. And Sabine trying to put some points on the board before calling it off. But Peninsula Roller Derby applying that pressure. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against number 11, Betta RecogKnives. Some intense coverage and a big hit out there by number 50, Strawberry Shortskate. Strawberry Shortskate picking up a penalty. And that's going to be Knives picking up lead jammer for Peninsula. Knives going around that outside lane, trying to dance around, as it looks like that's Critical Brit and Blockopotamus locking down Karmen SlamDiego. Some really intense walls. Successful scoring pass by Knives coming in to try to do another scoring pass. Bean dipping low, but not quite low enough. And the jam is called. Five-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 124. Two Pacific Roller Derbies, 38. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 6-8, Venus Thigh Trap, going up against number 0122, Ricochet for Peninsula. And Peninsula picking up lead jammer, but getting recycled with number 6-8, Venus Thigh Trap, breaking through, trying to score some points, but Ricochet is going to call it off. That was a 0-point jam with Peninsula Roller Derby holding at 124 to Pacific Roller Derbies 38. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 916 Major D going up against number 135 Sailor Doom. Sailor Doom at the top of the pack, 916, trying to get around those Peninsula walls, looking to dance through that inside lane. Hit out by Blockopotamus. And it looks like a Pacific blocker is going to pick up a penalty. However, both jammers are putting up a great fight and lead is still open. This could still be anyone's game. Big hit out by number 50, Strawberry Shortskate. Both jammers getting recycled, doing the and lead is still open. Tumble on the track, lead is still open. Either jammer can still get lead. And that's Blockopotamus giving Pacific a hard time. Major D, but it's going to be number 916. Major D for Pacific, picking up that lead jammer. Well fought and hard earned. All right, Major D on a scoring pass, looking to put some points on the board. Peninsula still on their initial. Major D looking to dance around that inside line, but the jam is called. And we have a team timeout called by Peninsula Roller Derby. And that concludes the team timeout. Next whistle starts the jam. We've got some jammer on jammer action right out the gate. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 4-4, MaGun My Day, going up against number 182, Blink 182, picking up that lead jammer. Just as Peninsula blocker picks up a penalty. Both jammers on a scoring pass here. Heidi Doom, successful scoring pass for Pacific, and Blink 182 backwards skating around those Pacific blockers to pick up some more points. And that was a little straightaway hop before calling off the jam. Peninsula Roller Derby picking up 12 points that jam. Pacific Roller Derby picking up 7, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 136 to Pacific Roller Derby's 49. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 1-1 Knives going up against number 9-1 Sabine Wraith. And those were some immediate hard hits off the start, but it's going to be Betta RecogKnives picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby. Knives on a scoring pass, looking to score some points here. Successful scoring pass before calling off the jam. And Peninsula Roller Derby will start this jam with pack advantage. Pacific Roller Derby having 2 blockers in the box, 1 blocker, 1 pivot. And it's going to be number 0122 Ricochet going up against number 916 Major D, with Ricochet picking up lead jammer, looking to score some points here. Ricochet twirling around that inside line for a successful scoring pass before calling it off. Dance break. Dance break. H-O-T. All right, and jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6 Bonny Bones picking up lead jammer, going up against number 6-8 Venus Thigh Trap. Bonny Bones picking up lead jammer. Was looking to jump that apex, but those Pacific blockers were right in the way. Successful scoring pass by Bonny Bones. Just as Pacific Roller Derby completes a star pass Successful scoring pass by Bonny Bones before calling it off. 8-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 152 to Pacific Roller Derby's 49. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against number 182, Blink 182. And it's going to be Blink 182 out of the pack first to get lead jammer. However, Karmen SlamDiego is right on their heels, applying that pressure, forcing the call off. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 91, Sabine Wraith, going up against number 11, Betta RecogKnives. Both jammers racing around, trying to get through. Blockoponymous recycling, Sabine Wraith. Knives at the top of the pack, really trying to push through. However, those Pacific blockers are really holding it down. Just long enough for the pack to rejoin them. And Betta RecogKnives picks up lead jammer just as the Pacific pivot picks up a penalty. Hard hits out here today. And that was a beautiful hit out by Pacific Roller Derby. And that's a successful scoring pass for Betta RecogKnives. Betta RecogKnives. Lead jammer looking to put some more points up on the board. Both teams really doing a great job at reforming and blocking. Successful scoring pass by Knives before calling it off. With that being said, Knives is being assessed a forearm penalty, so Pacific Roller Derby number 916 Major D will get a power start. Trying to run down that outside line, Major D, but was stopped by number 80, Eddy Current. However, 916 Major D picking up that lead jammer, taking full advantage of this power start, looking to put some more points up on the board. Number 916 trying to put some points on the board just as number 11 Knives rejoins the pack. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that number 11 is on their initial, both jammers being recycled right now. Both teams doing an excellent job at really stopping and holding down these blockers. There's a lot of movement happening on the track. But 916 Major D is going to skirt around that outside lane, picking up 4 more points for Pacific Roller Derby. And with that, there was a star pass by Peninsula, but Pacific will call off the jam. 5-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby, bringing the score to, well, I can't say it anymore because the players are having a timeout, but that's okay. We have a team timeout called by Pacific Roller Derby. Okay, and that concludes our team timeout. We have number 5-6, Bonny Bones picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby, going up against number 6-8, Venus Thigh Trap, with Bones on a scoring pass, looking to get through, just as Venus Thigh Trap completes their initial. Bonny Bones trying to put some points up on the board. And that will be 3 points for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby at 161, holding Pacific Roller Derby at 54. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 0122, Ricochet, going up against number 916, Major D, but it's going to be... And Major D is your lead jammer, just as Ricochet picks up a penalty. This will be a power jam and a pack advantage for Pacific Roller Derby, as Peninsula has 2 skaters in the box. Successful scoring pass by Major D, making it look easy, skirting along that inside line for a successful scoring pass. And the jam is called off. 8-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby there, bringing the score to, 11-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby there, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 65 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 161. And jamming for Pacific, we have number 007, Karmen SlamDiego, going up against number 182, Blink1Skatey2. And it's going to be Blink1Skatey2 picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby. However, that being said, Karmen SlamDiego's out right behind them, hot on their heels. However, Blink1Skatey2 will complete a successful scoring pass before calling off the jam. 4-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 165 Peninsula Roller Derby to Pacific Roller Derby's 65. Jamming for Pacific, we have number 6-8 Venus Thigh Trap going up against number 1-1 Betta RecogKnives. And it's going to be Venus Thigh Trap picking up that lead jammer. Looking to put some points on the board for Pacific. Pacific Roller Derby picking up 3 points before calling off that jam. Bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby 68, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 165. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 9-1, Sabine Wraith, going up against number 5-6, Bonny Bones. Some fierce walls by both teams. And it's going to be Bonny Bones picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby as Sabine Wraith is still on their initial. Bonny Bones trying to put some points on the board, but a big hit out by 0-0-0. No Fox given. Sabine fighting at the top of the pack, still on their initial, trying to get out, trying to get past that blockopotamus. But the jam is called. Four-point jam that round, bringing Peninsula Roller Derby to 169, holding Pacific Roller Derby at 68. Jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, we have number 9-1-6, Major D, going up against 0-1-2-2, Ricochet. And it's going to be Ricochet picking up that lead jam. Just as their pivot gets a track cut and heads to the box. But that doesn't stop Ricochet from completing a successful scoring pass, just as Major D breaks out on the initial. Both jammers looking to put some points up on the board. Successful scoring pass by Major D. Successful scoring pass by Ricochet. And a successful scoring pass by Pacific Roller Derby. Successful scoring pass by Pacific Roller Derby. However, their jammer will pick up a forearm penalty, meaning that this is a power jam for Pacific Roller Derby. Number 9-1-6, Major D, looking to put some points up on the board and close this gap, wanting to take full advantage of this power jam. Some great offensive help there by their friends. And Major D going up that inside line, completing that score pass. And both jammers are on the track looking to put some points up on the board. Successful scoring pass by Ricochet just before the jam is called. 18-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby there. 12-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby. Both jammers working real hard out there. Sensational. We have number 182, Blink 182, jamming for Peninsula Roller Derby, going up against number 4-4, MaGun My for Pacific. And that was a great Apex attempt by Blink1Skady2. We love a good Apex jump, just as MaGun My makes it through their initial. Both the jammers on a scoring pass. Peninsula Roller Derby completing a scoring pass before calling it off. 4-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 185, holding Pacific Roller Derby at 86. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 11, Betta RecogKnives, going up against number 007, Karmen SlamDiego. Knives really pushing the top of that pack. However, Knives will pick up a forearm penalty, meaning that this is a power jam for Pacific. And since Pacific has taken their star off and now passed it, this will now be a 2-minute jam. Successful star pass by Karmen SlamDiego. Number 00, Heidi Doom looking to put some points up on the board. Heidi Doom running up that inside lane, making it look easy. Putting 4 points up on the board, looking to put some more. Just as Knives rejoins the pack and completes their initial with 50 seconds left in this jam. Successful scoring pass by Heidi Doom. A little bean dip by RecogKnives for a successful scoring pass, putting some more points up on the board. Both jammers looking to keep putting points on the board with just about 20 seconds left in this jam. A tumble on the track, but Knives is up and at him, bean dipping around those Pacific blockers. Both jammers completing successful scoring passes. Just as a Pacific blocker picks up a penalty. And that concludes the jam. 12-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby there. 8-point jam for Peninsula, bringing the score to Pacific Roller Derby at 98, Peninsula Roller Derby at 193. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones, making quick work of that lead jammer status, with Venus Thigh Trap jamming for Pacific Roller Derby, still on initial, looking to get through. Successful scoring pass by Bonny Bones. Just as Venus Thigh Trap is still on their initial. Oh, I'm sorry. Venus Thigh Trap has completed a star pass, successful star pass by Pacific Roller Derby. Both jammers out on a scoring pass, but the jam is called. 8-point jam for Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 201 to Pacific Roller Derby's 98. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 0122, Ricochet, going up against number 007, Karmen SlamDiego. And Ricochet has picked up a penalty, giving 916 Major D a power jam. And with the lead still open, that Major D just picked up lead. Major D on a scoring pass, taking advantage of this power jam. Woo! Big hits and nothing stopping them. Successful scoring pass by Major D, breaking the century mark for Pacific Roller Derby. Some recycling there. Just as Ricochet rejoins the pack, but they are still on their initial, just as Major D completes a successful scoring pass. And with 40 seconds left in the jam, 30 seconds left in the game, will they run it? Successful scoring pass by both jammers. Both jammers trying to put some last second points up on the board. Successful scoring pass by Ricochet, just as number 187 heads to the box. And that concludes the game. 16-point jam by Pacific Roller Derby. 12-point jam for Penninsula, bringing our unofficial score to Pacific Roller Derby 114 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 213. Thank you, teams. Thank you, everyone. And that's the final score. Peninsula Roller Derby 213 to Pacific Roller Derby's 114. Great job, everyone.